Good evening and welcome to the special broadcast. It is brought to you by Government Communication and Information System, as well as the Department of Justice and Constitutional Development. Now, my name is Musutu Stone, and I will be talking to you, as well as our guest tonight, as well as taking us through the types of courts we have in South Africa. And tonight we are looking at educating ourselves on the various types of courts we have in South Africa, as well as explain the jurisdiction of courts. And with me tonight is none other than Advocate Matome Modiba. Modiba. He is from legal admin. He's a legal admin officer at the Department of Justice and Constitutional Development, based in Gauteng Regional Office. And Tate Modiba, good evening and welcome to this special broadcast, episode 12 of Let's Talk Justice, Living Your Rights.
Thank you, sir. I'm happy to be here, and I think listeners will listen to me carefully and attentively.
All right. So if you have been wondering, where do you claim for your child maintenance? Where do you go when somebody has murdered someone you know, and they've lodged a case, and you ask yourself, why is it not in Johannesburg but it's in Pretoria, and all sorts of stuff like that. We should be talking about that. And also, if you want to join us, you can join us on hashtag Let's Talk Justice. The conversation is going on social media, and you can also do that by calling us on 0800 142 446 0800 142 446. Otherwise, on Facebook, you can look for the Department of Justice and Constitutional Development. On Twitter, you can check at DOJ&CD_ZA. They all capital letters. It's at DOJ&CD_ZA. Tate Modiba, without any waste of time, let's talk about these various type of courts, and let's explain the types as well as their main aim. Why are they being demarcated in that way?
Look, first, because the first court that I would like to address now is the Constitutional Court. Most people ask themselves, why do we have the Constitutional Court? Colleagues or everyone, listeners at home must remember, after 1994, we had the Constitution. And our Constitution needed some other court to guard against the democracy. Then we have the Constitutional Court. In the Constitutional Court, the cases that are brought before the Constitutional Court are constitutional matters. For instance, when one can say my rights, for instance, I'll give an example, small example, so that listeners will be able to follow.
Yes.
The lady is pregnant. The employer is now dismissing the lady because you can no longer perform because you are pregnant. So when you look at the Constitution, equality before the law, Section 9, comes in. So then these are the issues that the Constitutional Court looks to protect the rights of everyone in terms of Chapter 2 of the Constitution, Bill of Rights. And in the Constitutional Court, we have 11 judges who normally sits and hear the matters. And first, Constitution is the highest court in the land or in South Africa.
Yes.
So when you have constitutional issues, or if you are not satisfied with matters of a constitutional nature, the good court to approach is the Constitutional Court. And the Constitutional Court is based in Johannesburg. Constitutional Hill is where you go.
All right. All right. That's the Constitutional Court. Is that the one that Ntate Mogoeng is leading?
Yes, Ntate Mogoeng leads the whole judiciary, but the seat, normally he attends the Constitutional Court matters. Maybe you saw different decisions and cases where he presides. Normally it's the constitutional matters.
All right. If you have just joined us, that's the voice here. Ntate Advocate Matome Modiba. He is the legal admin officer at the Department of Justice and Constitutional Development, and he is based at the Gauteng Regional Office. I presume that he will be in Johannesburg, and he'll tell us about the regional offices as well, maybe just to be sure. What are the differences in terms of activities between the courts and the regional offices? But also talk to us on 0800 142 446. 0800 142 446. And Tate Modiba is continuing explaining these different types of courts.
Look, again, we have the Supreme Court of Appeal, which is based in Bloemfontein. And is called Supreme Court of Appeal. Except the Constitutional Court, if anyone approached any high court in South Africa and he feels that the decision that was taken is not happy with it, he has to approach the Constitutional Court. Remember, only matters that are not related to the Constitution. If it's a matter related to constitutional issues, it goes to
the Constitutional Court.
But if it's a matter, criminal or whatever, I will go further and talk more. But Supreme Court of Appeal will be looking at the appeal. And normally, the matter will be listened by from 3 to 5 judges. And there will be minority judgment and majority judgment. So if there is minority, if there are 5, 2 can agree with the same version. Then 3 overrules 2. Then we have, when we read sometimes, we have the minority decision and the majority decision. And the decision that will bind is of the majority. So the final decision of a Supreme Court of Appeal overrules whatever decision that was taken by any high court matter, magistrate court, or any court in South Africa.
All right. But maybe if I may ask, because it sounds to be doing quite a very important job. And I'm thinking of somebody coming from Limpopo, somebody coming from Northern Cape, somebody coming... Northern Cape is a bit nearer to Bloemfontein. But why is it based in Bloemfontein only? Or is there any other way that you can launch this and then it gets to be taken through to Bloemfontein? Do you have to be there physically yourself?
When you are doing appeal, it will start with normally the High Court in your area, if the matter is in your area, informing them that now I'm going to appeal.
Okay.
Then from there, they will prepare documents and everything with records of what happened or statements in a written form.
Yes.
Then they go to, it's either the first court can give you a leave to appeal. If it's granted, you can take it to the High Court. There are cases sometimes you can hear cases is heard in High Court which might be in Bloemfontein or in Johannesburg or in Pretoria or in Venda.
Yes.
Then they said the judge refused a leave to appeal. Then if the judge refused in that court or a high court in that area, if you are not satisfied, you feel that another judge will come up with a different decision, then you take it to Bloemfontein,
all right.
Supreme Court of Appeal.
Yeah.
So in that way, you will be saying maybe the Supreme Court of Appeal will come with a different view other than the decision that is taken by Modiba, who's a judge in Johannesburg, or who's a judge in Pretoria, or who is a judge in Mafikeng or Nelspruit or wherever. Yes. Remember, the Supreme Court of Appeal will deal with appeals from all 9 provinces.
That's right.
Remember, nowadays we have the seats in every province.
Yes.
But they are provincial seats. They have the mother body.
In Bloemfontein.
There is one, remember, we had the old regime where the High Court was in Pretoria, was in Free State,
yes,
Natal, Cape.
Yes.
So these 4 were the High Courts. So when coming to the new dispensation, there are the regional High Courts. For instance, the seat, the local division, is the branch court of the main seat.
That's right.
Joburg High Court is the branch of the Pretoria. The Mafikeng also. Remember, we had those former homelands.
Yes, yes.
When now we are coming to this new dispensation, they are the seats of the high courts that were in the Republic state.
Okay.
The local one were supporting because they were reducing the traveling and the expenses. So, for instance, when we go back, when we talk about the High Court, previously it was also said it was Supreme Court. Supreme means high.
High Court, yes.
Then it was just a High Court, not a court of appeal.
Yes, yes.
The High Courts are the ones that are looking at serious, or let me just engage with our everyone's language. We are saying high-profile cases or serious cases are the ones that are heard in the High Court. Remember, in the High Court we have judges, and the High Court listen to matters in their areas of jurisdiction where they have a power or authority to listen that matter. For instance, I will refer to a High Court in Limpopo. Previously, people were saying, if you are in Mpumalanga, Limpopo, Northwest, if you don't go to Mafikeng, you come to Pretoria.
Yes, yes.
It was like that. But now we have local divisions. Mabatu is a local division. Toyando is a local division. Polokwane is a local division.
But there's a new High Court that was launched over there recently during...
remember, they are also part of...
stuff.
They are branch... They are branches of the provincial. That is why they are local divisions.
That's right.
The word local doesn't mean they don't have the powers to try those matters. Is then that is just to reduce traveling and expenses for people so that they can, instead of approaching with High Court matters, they can just approach that court. Remember, the High Courts will listen to matters, which might have, because the lower courts have jurisdiction to listen, have the monetary value, the High Court will start to listen for 400,000.
Okay.
But it depends on the litigant. If the litigant feels, I want to claim 100,000 and I want to go to High Court, then the legal representative will have to engage with him. Are you sure? Because the costs are going to escalate. This matter can be heard in the magistrate court.
Yes.
And the decision that is taken by the High Court binds all the magistrate courts. That is why in law we are saying magistrate courts are the creature of statutes. They follow what the High Court is doing.
Okay.
So in the High Court, normally we'll say when the matter didn't go according to the plan or what we expected in the lower courts, in the magistrate court. No, let's take it on appeal where we are saying the High Court.
That's right.
Then the High Court, nowadays that is why we have the High Court, the Mpumalanga High Court is a seat of Gauteng, so of Pretoria. But it will hear the matters in Mpumalanga. For instance, the High Court normally deals with appeal and everything. Normally it can even deals with the adoptions, but even the magistrate court has a children's court to deal with the matter.
Yes.
And the High Court deals with insolvencies. I'm bankrupt, I don't have money. We have the High Court to deal with that. The application is made to the High Court. And the adoption and everything. And at the lower courts, we have the magistrate court. The office in Alexander, the office in Mankweng, the office in Gotemba, they are the magistrate court.
Okay.
So those magistrate courts have a civil leg. Have a civil leg where, in a civil matter, those courts will listen to less serious matter in a district court. They can impose a fine in a district court. Normally it will be less than 200,000.
All right. If you can just help us with that so that it's able to disturb the sounds. People might be hearing something else while you're trying to teach them something.
All right. Yeah. And in regional courts, the regional courts is divided into three courts. Into two courts.
That's right, yeah.
Now we have in the regional court. Previously, during the divorce matters, we had divorce matters that were done by the High Court. There were 4 sittings of the divorce courts. So I will come to it later.
Okay.
But now, as you know, people can divorce in the magistrate court. Every magistrate court has a divorce section where you can divorce. So we have also from less crimes, drunk driving, stabbing with a knife, not with a serious effect on it. Then those matters are in the magistrate court.
All right.
Which is called district court. But when it have the rape, the murder,
grievous bodily harm,
the more it goes serious, it goes to the regional court.
Okay.
So now it climbs, or it gets the value in our layman's language. And in the magistrate courts, we have also the assessors. You find the magistrate with guys trying to assist their assessors. In the High Court, for instance, it will be starting from 3 judges deciding on the matter on the bench.
And who sits at the magistrate courts? Is it judges as well? And how many?
In the magistrate court, we find the magistrate, the prosecutor.
Okay.
These are the people in the magistrate and regional court.
Yes.
When we go to the High Court, the same sitting, but now the title changes. In the High Court is now the judge. The one who is prosecuting is now the prosecutor now is a state advocate.
Okay.
Then now the legal representative normally is the advocate. In the magistrate court, normally we have the attorneys, not the advocates. But advocates, when they go to the regional courts, they are briefed. They were sent by attorneys requesting them to do their matter on their behalf. So normally, some courts, you will hear the magistrate ask the advocate saying, where's your brief? Where it says, where is your permission to represent this person in the regional court?
Okay. So that's what the brief is.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is why now, when you look in the small claims, in these courts, that is why we have Criminal Law Amendment Act. In the Criminal Law Amendment Act, these are cases where, like rape, where there is changes on legislation, rape, or any other related matters, sexual offenses. When you're found guilty, it will be in the regional court.
Okay.
If it's of a high value or of a high matter, it goes to the High Court. It goes to the High Court. Remember the Rivonia trial?
Yes.
Most people know it. Treason and what.
Well, my 2000 would lose a bit of Wi-Fi
but
there, but
yes,
it's okay.
But
yeah.
we, over the age of 30, then going up, will know.
Yeah.
The Rivonia trial, treason, is the High Court matter. So the Magistrate Court doesn't change the status of a person, but the High Court declare the status of a person.
All right. Let's talk to Simon. Simon is calling us from Bushbuck Ridge. Simon? Hello, Simon?
Hello, Mr. Msutu kunjani?
Siyaphila kunjani baba?
No, ndihlayisekile.
Great stuff.
Yes, interesting topic. I just want to find out as to which court handles cases like defamation of character.
That's very interesting, Simon. Is that all?
Yeah, that's all.
All right, thank you so very much. And you're listening to which radio station, Brasi?
Radio Bushbuck Ridge.
Radio Bushbuck Ridge. Thanks to Radio Bushbuck Ridge in Mpumalanga, in Bushbuck Ridge itself. Right. Where do we take this type of issue that the Modiba?
No, you can take, it depends on the monetary value that a person claims.
Okay.
If it's amount less than 400,000, it will be heard in Bushbuck Ridge or Shatale Magistrate Court, in a civil court.
Yes.
But if it's more, it's when it goes to the High Court. So remember, ordinary magistrate court will deal with up to 200,000, but the regional court will deal to 400,000.
Oh, so it depends on, let's say, the advocate will give something, and then I'll be like, I need 1 million.
Then if you need 1 million, approach the High Court. Is where you approach from 400,001 cent, you can approach the High Court.
That's right.
Up to the infinite. Remember, the previously, the divorce, it was done by the High Court only. Argument in relation to the estate, wills and everything, High Court.
Okay.
Status of a person, for instance, issues relating to fighting for houses, which are more value from 200,000 up, then the Magistrate Court doesn't listen to that. They can refer you, go to the High Court.
Yes.
Then you go to the High Court they will listen to those. And
All
remember,
right.
even the sexual offences court also is in the regional. It's a regional court.
Okay.
Then I want to come to a small claims court that most people, because of us being far from courts, for instance, I want to claim 500 that I borrowed from you. I cannot go to civil court. I go to small claims court. The reason being, in a small claims court, it doesn't need a legal practitioner to charge you to do the paperwork. You go to the small claims court. There is no attorney there. There is no magistrate there. The only person it will be the parties and the commissioner.
Yes, yes.
The commissioner is the person who will be acting as a presiding officer. Then the value there is 20,000. Whatever amount till 20,000.
Okay.
Is small claims court.
The
And the small claims court is found in every court in South Africa. So I will move fast because I can see.
Yes,
our
I
time.
can see the time is moving, and
We have
equality
courts.
Yeah.
Equality courts are courts that are the so-called hate speech and so on.
Racism,
discrimination, harassment,
body shaming,
those you know cases.
Yeah.
I don't want to go more cases because I would sound unfair.
Yes.
Then during that hearings, it will be in the magistrate courts where people can go.
So this is the second court that's in the magistrate court.
Yes.
The small claims court is in the magistrate court. We're talking equality courts. Magistrate courts can deal with that. They form part of the magistrate court.
Yes.
Okay. So that we just review on that.
Then we also further have other courts in the magistrate court. Maintenance court, which most of us don't want to see it next to us.
Hey. Hey. Pap geld me, bro.
Pap geld me, bro. Assist in child maintenance.
Okay.
We also have, we normally call them sexual offences court. Normally, they are trying to reduce the waiting period where cases are involving rape, sexual offences against women, children, and you know, in that form, there is in sexual offences court, we are trying to avoid secondary victimization, where you'll be testifying against me, seeing me in the same court, and so on. Yeah. We are using a system. Normally, people will say they are using. You'll be there. The magistrate will be watching you. It's either using a TV or on the screen.
Yes.
Being in the other side, being assisted by either someone.
Counselors, maybe?
It will be normally it's a social worker or probation officer.
Okay.
Who will be assisting you. Or intermediary. If a person if it's a minor, intermediary will be there. Like the Dross case.
Yes.
So I will move forward to children's court.
Before we get to the children's court, so that we get to hear the two gentlemen who have just given us a call. Let's engage the listeners on 0800 142 446, and we're going to Richards Bay talking to Carl Modise. Abuti Carl. Dumela mre.
Sanbonani, for the sake to be politically correct.
Abusheni dimatekwa nabuti.
Thank you. No, I've got two questions for our guest, and welcome to our guest, Konalap. The first one, Etiona. You've explained the different types of courts. I wanted to get clarity in law. The people that represent you in these different kinds of courts, is there mechanism, for argument's sake, you're an advocate or you're an attorney, and I pay you to within law to represent me, and obviously my intention is to win in any one of these courts, is what is the recourse for umuntu oqale Magistrate Court, ayako High Court, ayako Supreme Court, ayako Constitutional Court, ayashayeka khona, ayikhokha imali ezingaka? What is the recourse? Is there any law that would seek to bring any kind of remedy or compensation from attorneys that would then persuade you to go to all these different courts and be charging all these monies? By the time you get the Constitutional Court, you paid over 100,000. By the time you figure will appeal. Are there any mechanisms to protect the ordinary citizen from being exploited financially by practitioners in law? That's the first one. The second question is that you're finding that and I want to go back to the Nino case, because I think Let's Talk Justice, we're going to talk about it and then we didn't have the program. So if you just indulge me, because it's around this the women abuse and children abuse. The Nino case, I wanted to say I didn't find it proper that Abu Mama, in searching for justice, there was a lot of marching around the Nino case, but I never saw them marching against the mother and the grandmother who were crying that and were standing in court in mitigation of sentence for their son. I believe that the women of our country lost an opportunity to show sincerity around the issue of abuse to women and children across the board, because there's this tendency out, yes, men are the ones that are perpetrators. But I strongly believe at that instant where you saw a mother crying for mercy for a son that had raped a 7-year-old child, you understand, in a public place, where is the honesty there? I would have expected women to have marched also against law mama, those two mamas, no gogo, I mean the mama and the gogo, in pursuance of social justice. They should have led by people. I didn't see anyone protesting with why what was that mother doing in mitigation. I think it was an indictment, but I'll leave it to get clarity around that.
Okay.
And in saying so, I'm not saying I tolerate violence against women and children. I'm just trying to bring an argument or an understanding of the sincerity of some of these things. Why is it that when there's abuse of children, you understand, by people that are female in this case, you understand, by fellow female citizens, you don't get an uproar about it. It's not amplified. It's okay. But inshallah,
all right. Thank you so very much, Carl, listening to North Coast Radio. And Abutilebo from Aliwal North. Keep it and Tatel Kabutalo.
I'm not in Tegikela, Galabofella, Ramasidian Fabupilo.
Morena.
Di fela china putwa pili ibang unali a case on Leona Original Court, and then we lose the case here. No, how can we lose what we appeal? Unali to kelo kapatumelo ya we represent a kabuena. Obanobono mhlomo ngoloya yena yetsa ntotse ka melengediente kapa ibue ntotsa mbe ibuile mono ona le ona o representa wena ka bona ona le tukelo o ifuwa ngore o ichemele ka bona ipuelle ka bona mrena ke a leboa ke tsamamala ka mamela Tagalani Community Radio.
Thank you so much. Tagalani Community Radio is in the Eastern Cape, and if you are in the Eastern Cape and around, you can also listen to various radio stations, including Takalani, Kumkani, Alfred Nzo, Link, and as well as Ngubela and Oasis Community Radio and Rhodes Community Radio as well. Let's go to Northwest. Kusile? Okay, sorry for that. How are you doing? Bunta buso pep.
Ralebo. Diribetsele mo yengwa ga go mo.
Yera.
Ke kopa go botsa ka the Supreme Court of Appeal.
Yes, sir.
ke mang o tshwantseng a ye ko the Supreme Court of Appeal, and then ke dikgato tse feng tse tshwantseng o di tee go ya ko, and exactly go appealiwang ko.
Is that all, Abuti Kusugile?
Ke a leboga Ramsotho.
Ke lebogile thata Rabaka. Thank you so very much. From the Northwest, I'm not sure where, but otherwise, listening to Maikeng, Kotsa, Mabatu FM, Mudir FM, Star FM, Aranang FM, Le Mafisa FM. Modiba?
I will start with the remedy that an attorney takes the matter till. So normally, if we listen to court judgments, and a legal representative might be ordered to pay cost from his pocket. The order might say cost deporis. Then you have to pay cost from your own. All right, no.
Wi-Fi
in that language. Issue an order will be awarded against you as a legal representative to say why did you take this matter to this level? Because if client will advise after this matter up like this.
That's right.
So order it is a remedy to say legal practitioners must advise properly, not for the sake of pursuing man. The legal advisor rather make you to sign, give advice, and you sign to say, let's take chance to whatever it is. There was another one to say why the lady was mitigating on behalf of a child who offended, a son who has offended,
yes,
and he wants remorse.
Yes.
Look, it's a human nature. Mitigating factors, everyone has a right to mitigate. It doesn't mean mitigating gives the right to say the person did not do what is charged. You can mitigate, and the circumstances or the judge or the magistrate will come with what he thinks deemed fit for the decision. There is one saying, if your regional court.
Yes. The recourse, is that one from Carl? Yeah?
Yes.
About the recourse?
Then there is a regional court. The way. Can you rephrase it in the way?
Which question from Carl is it?
Yes.
Well, in terms of because he spoke about the recourse in terms of if you're not satisfied, starting from
the regional
right
court.
at the bottom,
going
how
up.
do you get there and on what basis? Because you've already spent so much money, and the more you went up, you go up actually. The more
look, if you are not happy with the decision, if it's in the magistrate court, they will start with the review process. You'll make a note to say, I want you to check. Can this be taken, checked? I'm not happy with the decision, or I'm not happy with the conduct of the magistrate.
Yes.
Then they decide it on the first side. They say, no, we feel the magistrate is right and so on. You cannot appeal or review. Is the magistrate court or the regional court.
That's right.
Then, if you are not happy, you take that information, take it to the High Court. Then the High Court will look at that vision.
Yes.
Whether the High Court can agree with the judge, the first magistrate, or differ with the magistrate. Then if it differed with the magistrate, then there is a different decision. But if the High Court also it sits or it agrees with the judgment, Modiba, the judgment, you are not happy. You have a right also. You can go up High Court. But no, High Court. The costs are coming.
Money talks.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Then you can even, if the High Court, you are not happy about your decision, Modiba, go Magistrate Court, also happy, you can further take it again to Supreme Court of Appeal.
Yes. All right.
You will decide, are you still going to carry it for the higher?
I wonder how much does one pay over there. But anyway, that's not the topic today.
So,
all right.
In the Magistrate Court, we have another leg, Children's Court.
Yes.
You know, every court in South Africa is the guardian of every minor or children.
Yes.
So, children in need. If you want adoption, you start at Children's Court. Children in need of care, children who are in conflict of the law, those type of things. And further, we have the second court of the High Court. In areas where they are far from Mafike and the likes of Moas, they have a High Court city, which will come sometimes. Rustenburg, there will be a High Court city that will come on a certain date.
So I understand that they sit at least twice a year. How does it work?
Normally, they look at the matters, the roll.
Yes.
They put the roll together, check and say, look, these matters, they will take long if they have to go to Mafike. It's either going to Mafike, let's have them in that falls within the area of Madikwe, which is Moas.
Yes, yes.
Then they will sit there. During that week, they will listen to those matters.
All right. 0800-142-446, 0800-142-446. We are talking lay advocate Matome Modiba. He is working with the Gauteng Regional Office of the Department of Justice and Constitutional Development. And you have questions, you have comments, you are a legal eagle yourself, talk to us. And in any language, you are welcome. Tate Modiba, your time.
Yeah, all right. We still have, normally nowadays, as we grow and things come better, we have the special income tax court.
It's that time, tax returns.
Yeah, if you don't comply.
Listen to this very carefully. This applies to every South African who's paying tax, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
If you don't comply, remember, some people think this, because it's an income tax, is just a smaller court. It's a special court with a high court status. It's like you are appearing before the High Court.
Yes.
So there will be a judge assisted by an accountant and a representative from business community. The one who understands these money things is not just they will take me from my spaza shop.
Yes, yes.
Then it will be there, it will sit there. They will sit, decide on your matter. And sometimes, if you don't want to see the bad side of it, even if where you think they overcharge you by tax, you can take it there.
All right.
When you have a dispute, then you know the assessment. Then there is another court that I want just to brush. I know people who are working. We take matters to labor court.
Yes.
Also, we have a labor court which deals with labor relation matters. If you are not satisfied, it will start from CCMA if you belong to CCMA. If you belong to a certain sector, they have bargaining councils. From the bargaining councils, the decision, the hearings from that employer, you think everything is not right.
So the labor court is able to consolidate what could have went on at the CCMA and at the bargaining council. And then if Hopadile and everything doesn't go right there, that's when you go to the labor court.
You go to the labor
You have to start first with the
organizational structures.
Yeah, all right.
If you are not happy there, you can go to labor court.
That's right.
Then when you get to labor court, if you are not happy at the labor court, there is a labor appeal court.
Right.
So if A fails,
Which is
like,
the labor court.
yes, and is of a high court status.
Yes.
These are high court.
By the way, the high courts are determined by 400,000 going up, right?
Yes, but
Okay.
if you feel the magistrate won't entertain your matter well, you can take it to high court. But the cost. So the increasing of limits is to assist, not to bank more cases at the high courts.
Yes, yes.
So I was talking about divorce. Now we have divorce court.
Okay.
So previously high courts were the one determining the status of an individual. But now, because high courts are packed, there were 3 seats. The Central Divorce Court, there was the Northeastern, there was the Southern Divorce Court, which were sitting in the various high courts hearing divorce.
Yes.
So you file papers for divorce, it was taking maybe it was taking long. So that is why we have a regional civil court amendment. So where it gives power so that in the magistrate court, we have the divorce courts.
Okay.
You can approach there without a lawyer or an attorney. They give you a form, you fill, you put everything there, then they give you court date. The only challenge might be where you have to share properties, settlements, and everything. You will need an attorney to assist you.
All right.
Then if we have kids there who are still minors, we have to include the services of a family advocate.
All right. Let me just check quickly because there are other coins, there are other words that we coin around this. Normally they will say that one next to in Johannesburg, they will say Kiko Family Court.
Yes.
Is that what we are talking about when we say divorce courts?
Previously, it was like that.
It used to be called family courts.
They are, normally, in Joburg, is a family court.
Okay.
It only deals with maintenance, and it was dealing with divorces.
All right.
But now, they are sitting here in Gauteng. If magistrate courts deals with divorces now. You go to Rambek, there is a clerk assisting with divorce.
All right. All right.
That is why they say civil regional courts. Then they increased the value, monetary value of claiming to 400,000.
Okay.
So that they can give the divorce court, so that you don't have to, if you are in Mafikeng, you don't go to Mafikeng High Court, or if you are in Rustenburg, they say, no, your papers must go to Mafikeng High Court. Or if you are in Polokwane, it must go to Pretoria, then have a sitting maybe in Leboagomo or in wherever.
Yes.
So now, the courts have the divorce courts.
All right.
There. You approach the court, they do everything, they give you the date.
All right. Let's look into the land claims court as one of the last options we have before we speak to Fezile and Basi. Just hang in there. Let's just deal with this one on land claims court.
The land claims court, we know from those who born before democracy or 1994, there were forceful removals by the previous government. So, taking land from whoever. So, people were claiming back those land. Either they receive compensation, in terms of Section 25 of the Constitution.
Yes.
Property clause, restitution, bring back what you have. Then
bring back the land.
Then we don't take the land.
Yeah.
We want compensation. Then even the tenants, the tenant staff and everything.
Yes.
There are tribunals after the housing tribunal, housing commissions. Then it will be taken to labor court. And there is security of tenure, extensions and what. Then there is also a labor appeal court. If the first labor court, which is a high court, you think the decision that was taken there doesn't suit you, you have a right to approach the appeal. You are going to appeal.
All right. It's 0800-142-446, 0800-142-446 at exactly 4 minutes before 7 o'clock. Remember, we are going off air with you at 5:07. So let's try to accommodate as much as possible within the next 9 minutes. Modiba. I'm starting with Basimane. I'm starting with Fezile. Fezile, you're calling from... Richards Bay.
Hey.
Fezile?
Yes, Richards Bay.
How are you, Fez?
I'm good. How are you?
Welcome to the program.
Thank you. Modiba, our legal administrator.
Yes.
Yes. I have actually 2 questions in Lana.
Okay.
First of all, definitions because I am very struggling with understand. Please, definition of regulation of the law.
Which one is that?
Regulation of law.
Okay.
And then the second one is lawmaking. The third one is law enforcement.
All right.
All right. Can a regulator enforce the law? For example, ICASA as a regulator. We are watching I enforce umthetho.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sis Fez, and you're listening to North Coast Radio, I think.
Yes.
Thank you so very much to North Coast Radio. And I believe this should be our last caller, right? Karabs is nodding his head there. And Basimane, Utwa Aleko Rostomborgo, Abuti.
Morena Soud.
Legay Malo.
All right, that was it.
Bontle Busobu Pep.
Yeah, actually, the advocate has touched on my question that I intended to ask about the CCMA and the labor law, and which one comes first, and whether the decisions at labor law or the CCMA are binding and stuff like that. But I'm happy with the answer. My last question is on appeal. What are the grounds for appeal? If the matter has been heard at a particular court and it's been taken on appeal, what are the grounds? Because my understanding is that the judges are not going to listen to the case as if it's being heard for the first time. So what are the grounds for that? And finally, how far can this thing go? If I say I'm appealing and then I'm granted appeal, can the other party also appeal the decision of the other court? That's what I wanted to hear.
All right. Thank you, Abuti Basimane. Thank you so very much. You're listening to Mafisa Radio, right?
Yeah, Mafisa FM.
Morena. Thank you. Advocate?
I will start, the last one. The grounds of appeal is either you raise issues of biasness, interpretation of the law, and other things might be maybe fail to consider my evidence 1, 2, 3. Those are, the list is endless, but I think these are the ones that, and if you feel or appeal from the first court, at the first court they don't listen to you, then you go to another court. The other person, the first person who decision was made in his favor, cannot apply for rescission for the order now that is favoring you. Because it will, the first appeal is because they look at the facts to say, I'm not happy 1, 2, 3. So now they look at the reasons why the person who says, I'm not happy. Then if they feel the judges are also of the opinion that the decision was not right, then they will stand with me, the second person. Then it means they've cut the first judgment. Now the last judgment is the standing judgment. The issue of regulators. The regulators are regulating the law. In a nutshell, they are also enforcing the law because they are given the law to check. If you don't comply with broadcasting in the radio stations, if you don't comply with Broadcasting
Act, yes,
then the Broadcasting Act will have to enforce that you comply. It's either they remove the license or you comply or you are fined so that you comply. Then law enforcement. Law enforcement, we are talking more of our police. They are law enforcement.
And traffic officers.
Police officers includes traffic and metros, the cluster of police.
Not intelligence.
Not even intelligence is there.
Okay.
But most we don't see them as law enforcement.
That's right, yes.
Because they don't wear uniform. Immediate, but they are law enforcement.
All right.
The lawmakers are people who are in parliament making law.
I know this is out of context, but there's also military law and military whatever and all those things that has something to do with courts as well.
Look,
enforcement, does it get in somewhere there or anything?
Look, we have the military court. The military court does not apply to anyone who is not a member.
Not a civilian.
Yes.
Okay.
Military courts, they have their own procedures there.
Okay.
That is, we also have competition court.
Oh, yes.
Competition court also is of a high court nature because whatever decision is taken there from the tribunal, you were doing tenders, we are agreeing. That is why we have collusive tendering.
Okay.
We agree on the fees, price fixing. Then they take you to court. You are killing competition.
Okay. That Tiger Brands thing that we saw some few years back in terms of fixing. And also I think the network companies, they went through the competition court at some point. Okay.
Then also the other thing that I didn't mention, but it's one of the courts, the electoral court.
Oh, yeah.
Is governed by the Electoral Act. So if you have dispute regarding the elections, you go to the High Court.
My party did not win.
Yeah, but that High Court will sit. But it will be an electoral court. At which court? At the High Court or in the Magistrate Court. Because Magistrate Court, in our language, will say, is a baby to the High Court.
Yes.
Then it will be, the matter will be heard there by a judge, not by a magistrate.
All right. Let's move it a bit. I hope you're done with the questions. And I would like us to speak about all those courts that are in people's minds and are not legal. Kangaroo Court. Kangaroo Court is one of those. What do you have to say about that? Because mob justice comes from there, and we see a lot of the ills in our societies because of lack of belief in the laws of our country and the courts of our country.
Look, those we know we are coming from different dilemmas of life, but if we have those courts, we have a traditional bills court.
Yes.
Remember, that bill tries to show us, as Africans, I will say, if I wronged you, we go to court, we say, no, pay by sheep, cow, and so on. But remember, there are matters that we cannot try at the tribal courts, like rape, like murder, So people think when you take no, my son raped your daughter because we are friends, we know each other, we're working together, let's continue via family thing. is not what should be done.
Yeah.
Take law enforcement, report the matter, whatever emotional trauma, everything come to in place, then we'll say justice has been done.
So it's very difficult to accuse somebody of bullying, right?
Witchcraft.
Yes.
In another language.
Yes.
There is no proof. If you say I'm a witch, you have to prove. But in our African custom, we believe that one.
No, can you tell it? With that big nose of his, it must be a witch.
My father is an old man over 70 years. He has nightmares during the night, sleepwalking on the street.
Oh.
We fail to close the doors. Then we are saying, "Wabon, utfaril."
Hey, and Atamasa Paraliselo on the other side, naked and everything. But Modiba, it's been real. Thank you so very much for imparting such kind of knowledge with us. I hope when as umlaleli mumamedi, you took it Katsebe and really look at the differences that we have. From me, Musoto Stone, thank you to Karabalans. He's been taking it up from 5:06 to 5. In fact, beyond that, he's been doing this since 3 o'clock. He's been calling all these people. Am I connected? Am I not connected? Thank you so much for that. Osnoni, thank you so very much. Abuti Junior Kotu, we all good. Thank you so very much, Advocate. And Osnobu, thank you so very much. If you want to see the work of Osnobu, go to www.youtube.com and just look for Government ZA. You should be able to get the repeat of this episode. Tate Modiba, thank you so very much for giving us your time tonight.
Thank you to invite me again.
All right. From me, Musoto Stone, good night.